This is one of the most popular karakuri puzzles. It's called the Coffee Cup. It's designed by Akio Kamai and it's absolutely genius. Well, now I have one to go with it. This is the Coffee Mill. Inspired by this one, it's designed by Hiroshi Iwahara and I have no idea how it opens. So really cool looking puzzle here. We've got this darker wood on top. I'm guessing that's going to be walnut or something. And actually sitting inside here is a little coffee bean, just the single one. But it did come with this instruction sheet. It says a coffee bean in a hopper is fragile. Please don't touch it. So obviously your assumption would be that you want to do something with that, but I guess it's just decorative and we don't want to be touching it. The little hopper, I guess we're calling it, spins around. Looks like you can spin that in both directions and we can turn this coffee handle. Pretty pleasing sound that it makes. Goes in both directions. It's obviously clicking in lots of different positions, but doesn't seem to be much in the way of any kind of difference on the way around. And then the drawer here looks like obviously where it's going to open. At the moment it's locked in place. And that seems to be like the only moving components of this puzzle. So let's find out how difficult it is. Obviously I'm going to need to get a coffee for this puzzle. So here we go. And let's get started. Right, so there isn't all that much going on here. I mean, we can turn this handle. It seems to click, and it seems like there's about 12 positions, I think. It's got these little notches in the top here, this cog. And they seem to tick around at about the rate of hours. Or like, we can move into each notch with 2 clicks. That bean we don't touch. And the drawer definitely locked. Obviously this could have nothing to do with the puzzle. Maybe we just need to, I don't know, spin it or something. It doesn't tend to be the solution for these karakuri puzzles. And this spins around. It does look like this handle here is sitting on a spring. I'm wondering if we can lift this at all. Don't want to break it, but it doesn't. No, it doesn't feel like I should be doing that. Or maybe we could unscrew this hopper. It's all one piece, I think. So maybe we need to set this to the correct position. Maybe we'll point it down towards the drawer and then try spinning it. Don't know how many times you need to mill a coffee bean. Like, it doesn't seem to be making any difference the amount of times you rotate it. It just seems to be clicking through some gears. It sounds like it's kind of flicking some cog or something on the inside there. Quite a nice sound, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Right, what else have we got? Try moving the panels on the bottom here at all? No. Maybe if I try pulling the drawer out and then spinning it. It's not working. There's a rare use of some screws and things on this puzzle, and I'm assuming we don't really want to be touching any of those bits. This handle moves up and down slightly. There's some kind of like spring or something in there. I guess there would be more weight in here if you were to pour a whole load of coffee beans in. Has that got something to do with it? Like pushing down on it somehow? In fact, I don't know if it is. What I thought is a spring, I think is actually just a threaded screw. Trying to think about what the mechanism could be on the inside. I just think the screw is connected to a cog that's spinning around, and it's just... The fact that it can spin in both directions is a bit weird. I would think it's like a... I would have thought it would be like a one-way toothing system, but... Usually these karakuri puzzles are fairly intuitive. Some of them are definitely more difficult than others. This one's seeming like it's going to be down the more difficult side of things. The top lid here is made of 3 panels. You can see the darker wood in the middle here, but I don't think we're going to move anything there. I think that's purely aesthetic. I don't think that's a sliding panel. Turn it upside down. Doesn't seem to make any difference. Got me stumped. I don't know what to do. Unless it's like a combination lock, but I feel like that would be really difficult to guess the combination for it. It's not really anything giving us a clue. We've got 1 coffee bean. Can't hear anything rattling around or anything on the inside. Doesn't seem to be any moving parts I can hear. I've never actually ground coffee, so I don't really know. I'm assuming there's not much to it, right? You put the coffee beans in, grind the handle, grounds come out in the tray at the bottom. So what could be the thing that we need to do? Just going back to the seam here, I thought it was aesthetic, but I don't know, maybe something will move here. So it doesn't seem to want to go. Can I give it a push? It's really slight, but it does look like there's a tiny bit of movement on that. In fact, not a tiny bit. You can definitely see movement on that. So it's not fixed in place. Look, let's see if you can see this. So that, like, just the smallest amount, but a little, oh, in fact, yeah, look. What are we doing? Are we lifting it? What's going to happen? So we can't lift it. Obviously that joint is going to prevent that. It's got to be a slide. I guess you'd probably want the handle pointing towards a drawer. It's going to be, but I'm going around all the positions now, so let's see. There's definite movement on that. Definitely seems like something's going to happen here. This is kind of where I thought it might open. This handle pointing down towards the drawer. Spinning this hopper around, see if anything happens. Now I can see the seam. I just got to figure out what we've got to do to... Oh, look at this. The more I see it, the more obvious it is that it's actually there. On the underside you can see a slight seam just here as well. It might not show up so well on camera, but there's clearly like a slight gap. I don't know which way it's going to go though. It might slide forwards or backwards. In fact, it looks like it's only on the right hand side here. On the left hand side it looks... I'm wondering whether this side panel is going to come off rather than this whole piece sliding through the middle. Because that actually looks like it might just be coming off this side rather than on both sides. Just wondering if that bean is not there just to make it look good. What happens if it's a magnet? If it's a magnet, maybe there's a pin that we need to try and drop down, and that bean could hold it in place maybe. So maybe if we get it to the right position, or holding it this way around. Don't feel anything though, I don't feel like it's attracting anything. I feel like it's almost got to be there for a reason. And this actually, this feels like it's going to come apart right here. Down this seam here, like I can almost pull it apart. There's like something just holding it in place. I can pull it marginally. What are we going to do? Let's try just putting a bit. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's spring loaded. It definitely wants to go back into position. Okay, so what? The handle doesn't seem to matter. It's the coffee bean is the thing. And we need it in about that position. Right, now what's happening? Now the drawer's opening? Yes, now the drawer's opening. And we have our coffee grounds. Very cool. Oh, and the coffee grounds move. And I love it. We are finally allowed to touch it. We have ourselves a coffee bean. It is just wood. Very cool. So there's a second hidden compartment underneath here. Super sneaky. So you might not even find that, but if you just pull this down, you can find the little hidden compartment there. We'll put our coffee bean back inside. So it's obviously fallen down the back, right, of the coffee mill. Put it back in and it's locked in place. What a cool puzzle. Super tricky for a karakuri box. Like, it's not super obvious at all. Pretty well hidden seam there that at first I just did not clock at all. But all in all, really cool puzzle. Hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next time for more puzzles.